One of the most essential parts of a smart home are the cameras. A popular brand is Foscam. Using Foscam cameras allows you to have a nice view of everything going on in your house, with the added bonus of being able to utilize functions like pan, tilt, zoom. Let's get started. There are two main ways to integrate a Foscam camera into your home assistant. The first one is by using the Foscam integration. This method is super easy and only requires the entry of your username and password. Key functions are built in and it doesn't require much work. The second method is by using the MJPEG IP camera integration. This one is a bit more complicated, but it is oftentimes easier to modify and make your own. Using this in conjunction with the RESTful command integration will allow for some, if not more, functionality than the default Foscam integration. Let's start with the Foscam integration. In order to get this set up, you'll need the camera's IP, port, username, and password. You can find the IP address from your router. The default port is 88, and the username and password would have been created by you when you set the camera up. However, if you don't know it, well then it's probably the default values of username, admin, password, blank. You can also add the optional name value if you want to change the name of the entity that will be created. Once you save your config file and restart Home Assistant, you should be able to use the camera. A good example of use for this would be to utilize the Picture Entity Lovelace card. You can use the new camera that you created for the camera image value, and you can set the camera view to live if you want a live view of the camera. A requirement of this card is to also enter an entity. It's totally up to you what you use. You can use a light bulb, a switch, or just enter the camera again. If you want pan, tilt, zoom functionality alongside this view of the camera, you can copy some example code found on the integration page and paste it onto a new card. You'll of course need to replace the example camera with yours. Once completed, you'll see a grid of buttons on the bottom corner that can be used to rotate the camera. Now, let's get started with the second option. This uses the MJPEG integration and is a bit more complicated. So, if you need something quick and easy, I would suggest sticking with the first option instead. First, let's get the camera entity set up. Start by adding a new MJPEG camera and set both URL values to this. Now, this may seem a bit long, but I'll give you an example. It starts with http:// and then the camera's IP. This should be something like 192.168.68.134. Now, add a colon and then the port, which in my case is 88. After this, go /cgibin/cgistream.cgi $cmd equals get mjstream and user equals username and password equals password. As expected, replace username and password with yours. Before you restart your instance, you can also choose to add pan, tilt, zoom control. While this is not as nice as option 1, it does work. I'll give you an example, but by using the link in the description to access the Foscam CGI user guide, you can gain much more functionality. Start by adding the RESTful command integration. You can then add a new command. The URL will look a lot like the previous one. The main difference is that you need to replace cgistream.cgi with cgiproxy.fcgi. Then, change the CMD value to PTZ move left instead of get mjstream. You can then repeat this process and create a command for all of the other directions listed here. To create a picture elements card out of this, simply switch out some of the surfaces on the example found on the Foscam integration. So, for example, this would be replaced by this. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and, most importantly, learned something from it. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day, and as always, keep automating.